Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I have a review here for a game that I played for the first time ever. It's a game that I used to see the commercials on TV, on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, I believe, as well, back when I was a small boy. And I wanted to play this game so bad. I remember I begged my mom and my grandmother, my grandfather, to let me get this game for PlayStation 2. And they kept saying no, and I thought that was weird. It must have been something in the trailers on the TV that I didn't realize. It must have been something that was on the listings of the rating for this game. I don't really know. But now, playing it for the first time ever, I will tell you 1000% this game is very crude, and I understand why they didn't want me to play it. Even though they had me grow up on horror movies and stuff, it's kind of surprising, kind of doesn't make sense, but kind of does. Anyway, so, this is a game that's part of a series. Has quite a few entries, and of course in the last couple of years, this particular game had a remake that got released. It looks really good, but I wanted to play the OG. Of course, its first sequel also has a remake out now as well, that I think came out this year in 2023. Anyway, that game I'm talking about is a game that I've wanted to play for ages, and finally got my hands on about a month ago. And now I'm playing it, now I beat it, and now I gotta talk about it. That game is Destroy All Humans! This basically is an alien invasion 1950s B-movie style plot, but it's a comedy. It's more focused on comedy and parody of the American culture of the 1950s, which is so good. I loved this. This just measured up to be everything I ever wanted this game to be back when I used to want to play it, and then I forgot about it most of my life because I grew up, I got into Xbox 360, got into first-person shooters, whatever. Life took its toll. Now I'm almost 29 years old. I finally played Destroy All Humans. Dude, this is a classic. 2005 this game came out. An absolute classic. This is a masterpiece of what it is. It plays like a modern game. It plays better, in my opinion, than most modern-day third-person shooters, because it's kind of a shooter, but it also has some stealth mechanics and whatever. Anyway, let me get to the plot of the game. Destroy All Humans is essentially about Crypto, our main character here, who he's an alien, part of an alien race that basically just clones itself over and over again, basically making them immortal. And one of the clones crashed onto the Earth and was kidnapped. And Crypto, who we follow in this game, we play as Crypto, has to team up with one of his other alien brethren, or clones, or selves, I don't know what to call them, called, is it Proxy? I'm pretty sure it's Proxy, right? Yeah, Orthopox is his name. I'll get to him in a moment. He teams up with him on his spaceship, his flying saucer, at the mothership, and he goes down to Earth looking for the clone that was kidnapped after he crash-landed. Now, this is the thing. This main character, Crypto, is stuck in American culture. You have about 5 or 6 different maps you can go around. You can do some collectible stuff. But the way it plays is so much fun. The different weapons you unlock as the game goes on, the upgrades you can get for it, all of that stuff are a blast. They are so much fun. This game is a blast. From beginning to end, I didn't have any kind of repetitive nature to it that kind of put me off. It's fairly short. You could beat this game in like 5 hours, dude. It just flies by, and I got it for like 10 or 15 bucks, I think is what it said. No, I got it for $8, as a matter of fact, from the store I went to. And I loved it. It was just such a classic, man. It's so fun. Everything about this is fun. All of the writing, the humor, all of it is so clever. And that's shocking to me, because I don't really get games like that nowadays in 2023, or in the last 8 years since the Xbox One and PS4. Yeah, I almost messed up what I was about to say. We haven't gotten anything like that in a long time. So, this is a game that really surprised me. I've been getting back into old classic games from the original Xbox, from the 360, from the PS2, from the PS3. I've been playing a lot of that stuff lately to try to get through my list. This was on my list of my top 10 games I wanted to play this year by the end of the year. And man, it held up. It's probably the best thing I've played off my whole list so far. I love the hell out of it. Anyway, it's an alien invasion game, obviously. You can go around, destroy things with either your weapons, like your Zap-O-Matic lightning gun, which you've probably seen in a lot of the footage and commercials for this movie, or this game, back in the day. But you also have other things, like your flying saucer, or if you're on the ground, you can throw grenades and whatever. They're kind of like sci-fi alien grenades, but I love the parody writing in this game. Can I just hit on that again? The parody writing in here of the 1950s culture, everything from drive-in movies to the city, to the way people dress, to the jokes about communism all the time, to the jokes about even political stuff that was handled in a way that very much surprised me. Of if modern day people had made this game for the first time ever, not remade it, but had made the game for the first time ever in 2023, this would have been such political shit. It totally would have, with some of the jokes they tried to make in here. The jokes that are in here that are more political are really funny and really clever. The game itself is extremely refreshingly clever. Probably one of the best story modes I've played in a game in my entire life, and I mean that. It surprised the hell out of me, and I will totally buy the remakes for 1 and 2 whenever I get around to it. But there was like other games I want to get, like the one for the Wii. I think there's another one for Xbox 360 called Path to the Furon or something like that. By the way, the alien race is called the Furon. And there's not really much of a story. It's very military versus you, and that is where the game succeeds. But again, the gameplay itself feels better than a lot of modern day gameplay. It's surprising how smooth it felt, how easy it felt to play. It was very intuitive, and I don't really talk about control schemes, being so intuitive. I don't really give a shit about that. Most games you have to learn anyway, but typically you have things that are very common, like the X button on the PS2 controller being the jump button on most games. That's pretty intuitive, but I think the other controls they introduce for example, your telekinetic powers, or your hypnotizing powers, or your mind-reading powers, so you can do all that in this game. All of those things are fairly, to me, easily adaptable. Very easily. I loved it. I think it's truly a beautiful-looking game, too. You do have the limitations of the PS2 at the time, where, as you might be too far away from a location of somewhere you have to go, you could see the map kind of load out of nowhere. But the area you're in, the actual graphics surrounding you, are really nice. Really, really nice. Whether it be water physics, whether it be the trees, any of that stuff. I loved it. I had such a good damn time with this game. I can't begin to describe it to you. I've been rambling about this game for days now to my wife as I played it. I think I started playing it last Friday, I want to say. And throughout the week, I haven't had a whole lot of time to play the game. I've been busy making videos, going to work, whatever. And I gotta tell you, I was craving to finish this game up. It was so much fun. It's one of those games to me that I never played in my life, never played in my childhood, that coming to it for the first time ever as an adult, kind of like Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer for the Nintendo Switch, which was originally on the 64, I loved it. It's just something so refreshingly great. Something so refreshingly fun and enjoyable and different from almost anything that I play nowadays in modern gaming, that I'm just thankful for it. I'm thankful I can sit here and talk about how refreshingly fun it was. Now, one other thing I do want to talk about, too, is the cast. Of course, we have Crypto, played by, if I can get IMDb to load up, played by J. Grant Albrecht. And I don't think I know this fellow from anything, but basically Crypto is the voice actor here, is doing a, a Jack Nicholson impression. And I love that. It took me a while to pick up on it until I realized, hey, Crypto is basically Jack Nicholson in every Jack Nicholson role ever. You know, he'll be saying things like, I want to do an impression, but I don't because I'm not that good at it. But I love Jack Nicholson, therefore Crypto's personality feels just like Jack Nicholson playing an alien. And it reminds me a lot, by the way, it's in its style of Jimmy Neutron. You know, I remember the trailers for this game coming out, and I remember how much it reminded me of the animation style of Jimmy Neutron. So if you love Jimmy Neutron, you might like this a whole lot too. It even feels like that old Jimmy Neutron PS2 game about the Twonkies, I think is what they were called, the Gremlin ripoff they did once upon a time. If you remember that. If you are old enough to remember Jimmy Neutron, you probably remember the Twonky ripoff of the Gremlins, you know? But anyway, Poxy that I talked about, who gives you the upgrades, who's kind of the voice in your head that you talk to, one of the other clones that helps lead you, he's played by Richard Stephen Horvitz, one of my favorite voice actors of all time, which I wanted to tell you that mainly because Richard Stephen Horvitz is probably my favorite cartoon character of all time. From Cartoon Network, that would be Billy from Billy and Mandy, or The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. This is a bootleg box set. I have like 7 of these DVD cases of the entire show and the movie. And I love Billy and Mandy. I consider it to be the best thing cartoon-wise I've ever seen in my entire life. The best show that Cartoon Network ever put out. The fact that they do not do reruns for this show is insane to me. Kids nowadays would love this show. It is so funny. If you have not seen it since you've been a kid, you need to see it again. If you've never seen it, you need to see it for the first time ever. It is a classic, man. But Destroy All Humans has Richard Stephen Horvitz in it. And he is wonderful. Of course, he also played Invader Zim. He's played a bunch of things you know of, but he played Billy. And having his voice in here is so fun. I love that about it. The boss battles in here, they're really satisfying. I think the ending of the game is really satisfying. Overall, the game itself is pretty easy. I played it with cheats because I love cheat codes in games. If you can give me unlimited ammo, or unlimited life, or in this case, mind power, or whatever, I have a blast with that. I didn't like the fact that every time I finished a level, I had to re-enter the things on the start menu every single time I started a new level. But there's only about like 20 story missions, so they fly by really fast. But the game was an absolute wonderful time. If you have not played this before, Destroy All Humans is an absolute massive recommendation for me. I could not possibly tell you how you must play this. I don't know if it's a PS2 exclusive or not. I don't think it was. But dude, if you have not played this, get the remakes, get this one, get whatever you can. I recommend this one because this is my exposure to the series, first ever, as a matter of fact. But man, it was so refreshing and wonderful. This is probably my favorite game I played this year at this current moment. I've had some really good ones out there that I had since I was a kid, some that I didn't. For example, PGR 4, Project Gotham Racing 4, I really loved it. I have games like, what else is off the top of my head? I can't remember anything off the top of my head, and I don't want to drag this video any longer, but this is probably my favorite game I played so far in 2023 off of my list or otherwise. This is an absolute classic, dude. If you haven't played Destroy All Humans, please, I'm begging you. If you love cartoons, if you love Jimmy Neutron animation, if you love Stephen Horvitz, you need to play the game. You need to. If I had to rate Destroy All Humans on a 5-star basis, I would easily give this a 5 out of 5 stars. It is wonderful. It is easily one of the best games from the PS2 era, in my opinion. I am so impressed with this game and how fun it was. It's shocking to me. And most people would play this now and consider it too basic, I think, because people want super complex RPG systems and stuff. Fuck all that. This was perfect for what it was. 5 out of 5 stars, like I said. Have you played Destroy All Humans? Have you played the whole series or just some of them? I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all, and goodbye.